Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this Executive Committee meeting to order. We have 4 items to consider. I'd like to take them up one by one, and I'll ask the Chancellor to introduce item 1A.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Anne and Bernard Spitzer have pledged a $25 million gift to City College. This is something that Greg Williams, our president at CCNY, has been working on for some time with the Spitzer family. And we made this announcement when the chairman and I conducted a Invest in CUNY press conference about a week ago where the Spitzers were in the audience. So this is a celebratory event, and what we agreed to do in exchange for getting that substantial gift is to name in perpetuity the School of Architecture, Urban Design, and Landscape Architecture to the School of the Anne and Bernard Spitzer School of Architecture. This has gone through the faculty in the School of Architecture, voted overwhelmingly to recommend this. The President obviously has recommended this, and this is being brought for your consideration for your action. That's it.
All right. Are there any questions for the Chancellor on this naming? According to my resolution, it's the Bernard and Anne Spitzer School of Architecture.
It started as Anne and Bernard, but I think they had a family discussion.
Let's put that question to rest. I'll move it. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, abstentions? That carries. Would you take us to 1B?
Yes, this is a finance arrangement that we have with the developer and the New York City Community Trust for a new school of social work for Hunter College that will also house the new School of Public Health, which is the CUNY School of Public Health. And I'll call on Vice Chancellor Iris Wanschel just to take us through the particulars of this action.
Thank you, Chancellor. I guess for those who are on the Facilities Committee, we had the architect had come in and made a presentation of what this brand new 147,000 square foot building is going to look like in East Harlem. And it's a very exciting project for CUNY. As everybody knows, the construction industry is going through a metamorphosis of its own, and the original cost estimate for the building was $87 million. We believe that because the general market conditions have changed, that that amount will probably come in less than the $87 million. In addition, the Brodsky organization, who is buying the current site at 79th Street, is in discussions and negotiations with the New York City Community Trust to sort of decipher and figure out what all these market conditions will mean vis-a-vis their purchase price for 79th Street. So all this is going on, but the good news is that we're moving forward on the project. We've purchased the land up in East Harlem, and we anticipate that demolition of the site will start at the beginning of May. Rick, I don't know if you want to add anything else.
No, I mean, we've brought this back to the board because the market conditions have changed, and the original resolution stated certain estimates which we don't think are correct any longer, including precisely how much CUNY would receive out of the gift, or out of the purchase price, rather, as a gift. But the bottom line is that we are very confident that when it's all netted out after the final negotiations, we will have more than enough money to build the very same building that was anticipated at the outset.
Questions? Are you ready then? Let's see. Do we have a motion? I'll move this. Can someone second it?
Second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, that carries.
Mr. Chairman, the next item number C is an extension of a contract with the ACT. ACT is one of the major testing organizations in the United States, and we have had a long-term contract with them to do the grading of various tests that we have here at the university, including the CUNY proficiency examination. So because this was time sensitive, we asked that we bring this to your attention and ask for support of the extension of the contract. And Rick Schaefer can take us through any of the particulars.
It's a very simple extension of the agreement. There have been some price changes because the amount of work, as the exam has gotten more complicated, the amount of hours it takes to grade the exams has increased. ACT has provided us with backup documentation for that, and the draft contract has already been approved by my office as to form and is sitting with ACT right now to sign. And this is going to be a one-year extension. We've notified ACT that it is our intent going forward to do a new competitive process for this, but obviously we've got students who need to graduate this spring, and we need to get the current exams fully graded.
Any questions on this? I'll move it. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions, that carries.
Let me just deal with this last action about adding a member on the Presidential Search Committee for Medgar Evers College. We have a protocol that was established in 1999, which mandates the configuration of a search committee for any president here in the university. It consists of a certain number of trustees, a certain number of faculty, students, a representative from our presidents, and an alumni representative. And that's the way that we have operated over the years since 1999, when we revised those guidelines when I became chancellor. It has come, and that is the way that we operated in putting together the committee for Medgar Evers. It has come to our attention just a couple of days ago that there is in the governance charter of Medgar Evers College a committee called the Community Council. And the Community Council is a group of people from the community around Medgar Evers and have a very active role at Medgar Evers. There is also a tradition, and tradition has to go back about 20 years ago when the committee was formed to search for president, where Edison Jackson was named as president, and the president of the Community Council had a representation on the committee as well. We met with a bunch of people concerned about, well, not concerned, but who asked questions about the committee for Medgar Evers, and it was at that meeting that we originally were made aware of the existence of a tradition at the college consistent with their governance charter, and I did not think it was problematic for us at all to add an additional member consistent with the very special circumstances that exist at Medgar Evers. We don't have any other campus that I'm aware of in the university that has a structure like this, where there has been a tradition that the member of the president of the Community Council had a seat on the committee. So I think this is the right thing to do. I think it is very sensitive to the community's interests about helping to find a truly distinguished person to lead Medgar Evers once we lose the wonderful president that we have in Edison Jackson. So before we move forward with this, I discussed this with trustees and thought that it was the appropriate action to allow us for this particular case to add one additional member. And that's basically what this resolution is about.
I'll move the resolution. Is there a second? Any questions about it or comments?
What is the composition of the community council? I'm just curious. Is it appointed or elected?
I don't know exactly how membership is defined, but it is an active council. There are no political members. There are no members of the city council or the state legislature. These are people, business people, who live and work in the Crown Heights area that have very close connection with the campus. We've had conversations with the president of the community council. Her name is Ms. Davis, who is seems to me to be a very sensible and caring person, and if we were to move forward with this, she would agree to be the member to represent the council.
I have some additional information. Is that okay to
Yes.
report? Katie L. Davis is the president, Ann Bush is the vice president, Bode Awolo is the treasurer, Gloria Wilson is the assistant treasurer. I'm reading this list so I can get to the name of the parliamentarian, Agnes Abraham. Who many of the board- And we do have a list of members of the Medgar Evers Council that works very closely with the college. So we've looked at the list, and as the chancellor indicated, there are no elected officials on the list. It is entirely people from the community.
If I might add, I think the composition is set forth in the Medgar Evers governance plan, and when this meeting adjourns, I'll run upstairs and get you a copy.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, abstentions? Carries. Any other business?
No other business. I just apologize for bringing the executive committee, but we did need to move forward on all four, and that's why we have the committee.
Next time, check the weather.
We're adjourned.
One last announcement. The Committee on Faculty, Staff, and Administration will meet at 6:30 in the lounge. Everything is already set up for the convenience of the members.
Cocktails.